You got a lot of positive talk about you as the individual and the candidate, as well as you being the person that they isolated on, for lack of a better term. So it's nice. I think it really came back to their face.
You know, that's another great point. You remember, did some of you all hear about when Jon Stewart mocked me as a candidate? You may have heard about it. I don't watch Jon Stewart, but it made news. Well, guess what? That generated some additional publicity. Janeane Garofalo.
This is great.
I wanted to send her a thank you. I did.
You jumped over 60,000 Twitter followers because of that.
I wanted to send her a thank you note.
Thank you.
Let me give you a little bit of history because I love this. Janeane Garofalo was also the actress, I don't know how good of an actress she is, who said that the Tea Party people are nothing but teabagging racists. She said that back in 2009. I used to
She had knuckle dragging in there.
knuckle dragging, teabagging racists. She had a slew of ugly adjectives in there. And so I used to talk about her statement on my radio show, and people wanted to know if I was offended. I said no, and I wasn't offended. No. If I get offended, it brought a lot of attention to the whole Tea Party movement. So now, here's what she said lately, in case you all missed it. You probably were, because you got a job, you're not listening to that garbage. She says, somebody must be paying Herman Cain to run for president. Because there's no way, in her view, and she was on this stupid Keith Olbermann show. Nobody watches, okay? Nobody watches it. I don't know what the size of the audience was. So she said somebody must be paying him to run for president. If not, he must be suffering from Stockholm syndrome. So I asked Nathan, what is that? Go look it up. It's when someone who is captured begins to like their captors. So in other words, she was trying to make the point that I have fallen in love with the Republican Party and with Republicans. I have been captured by them for so long, I don't know any better. When she made that statement, just like the show that John talked about, man, that thing went viral. Now here's the thing. Sean Hannity talked about it last night on his show, and they basically said, what screw does she have loose? The answer is all of them. And so you're right. You know, I don't go out looking for that kind of stuff. And so when they attack me, then guess what? It usually backfires, and it helps us out. As a matter of fact, right after she made the comment, our online contributions increased. They increased as a result of that. They did. Online contributions.
I don't think that stuff's going to work anymore.
No, it's not going to work.
Not in these day and age. You've got 10% unemployment, whatever it is. People are just fed up.
People are sick of the name.
Nobody wants to hear it.
Right, they're sick of their name calling, they're sick of all of that stuff. So,
Mr. Cain?
yes, sir.
A couple of months ago, you were part of a debate in South Carolina. Frank Luntz had a group of his people on that night, and you were the big hit that night.
Yes, sir.
And I was looking to, hey, this is really going to turn the tide.
Right. Here's that night. First of all, it was a surprise to me. Mark Block, my chief of staff, said to me just before I walked out, he said, Herman, you don't have to be perfect, just be Herman. And I was so relaxed. I was just in my element. And the second debate, the CNN format was a little different. And I did my debate prep a little different, which I'm not going to do it that way anymore because I was a little bit more wound up in the second debate. I did okay, held my own, but I didn't have that same, oomph, like you said, you maybe didn't say it, but I recognize it because I'm one of the toughest critics on myself. The last debate, I used the first approach to debate prep, and that is the day of the debate, I didn't meet with any of my advisors. None of them. I didn't want them trying to cram last-minute stuff in my head. So I spent the day with self-prep and this sort of thing, and I felt great. I felt relaxed. But the thing was, in the third debate, the one that we just had, the Fox News commentators, they wanted to try to create these catfights between Valenti and Bachmann and Romney and Valenti, and they did all of that stuff. So as a result, I ended up being on camera 7.5 minutes out of a 2-hour show. The other candidates were up around 12 minutes in a 2-hour show. You know, would I have liked more minutes? Yep. But we didn't jump up and down and scream about it or anything like that. But what I did do was, when I did get questions, I made sure that I used them to try and say something constructive. Now, with the next one coming up, which is going to be September 7th, there's going to be another one that's going to be coming out of Florida. It's going to be
Reagan Library.
Oh, I'm sorry. Reagan Library, September 7th. But the one in Florida is going to be the 27th. So we got 2 coming up in September. And I feel very confident about, you know, being able to be in those. And I'm going to use, you know, the approach that I used before to make sure that I can, you know, just sort of have fun with it and be spontaneous. And I think that that resonates more with people. Last question. Last one.
Mr. Cain, thank you. When you were interviewed on the Michael Savage show, I think it was last Friday.
Yes.
That was a tremendous interview. And what made it to me tremendous is that your credentials came out because Michael was asking the appropriate questions. I hope, it always irks me when the other press, the ones that say that you managed kind of a pizza business, clearly to minimize you, not that you saved the company and what your advancement through General Mills was. And the fact that every year that you were chairman of the Kansas City Federal Reserve, oh my God, I mean, in time and money, I think that's really important. But the key thing is your academic achievements, being the mathematician, physicist, and computer science masters. It shows that you're a logical thinker. People don't know this.
Right.
We've got to let them know.
We are able, in many interviews, the host will give those credentials leading up to me being, they don't always do it. Many of the TV interviews, you just don't have the time, because they've got it down to 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Look, a 7-minute interview on TV is a long interview. So you try to make sure that you get as much of it in as you can. But you're right. I think that even Michael Savage was surprised because he didn't know that much about me.
He was very surprised and talked about it after the interview was done.
And after we did the first segment, he asked me to do a second segment, which we weren't planning to do. But here again, maximizing that availability, and I had the time, we were able to stay in order to be able to do that.
Have you called Donald Trump yet?
I have not called.
He's commenting on which candidates have called him and who hasn't called him.
Well,
on that note, we have to go.
Good segue.
Let's just say
4-4.
Yeah, right. Let's just say I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, no sense. All right.
I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Let me say this, folks. We got to run. We got a TV appearance we got to go to. We got to go right now. Let me say again, thank you. We're going to be around the state tonight, tomorrow. The Young Republicans are having an event. If you haven't heard about it, they're going to be doing a lobster bake. If you haven't heard about it, we're going to be there for that. I'll be giving a speech. I might even have some new stuff in there that you haven't heard. So come on out to it if you get a chance. And again, thanks a trillion